Hello, it's Tuesday, March the 24th. Our devotional, we continue to go through it. God is at work in you. Philippians chapter 2, verses 12 and 13. Paul says, "Therefore, my dear friends, as you have always obeyed, not only in my presence, but now much more in my absence, continue to work out your salvation with fear and trembling. For it is God who works in you to will and to act according to his good purpose." Some have referred to these verses as some of the most important instructions in the Bible about our sanctification, our growing to be the people God wants us to be. Notice he says, therefore. Well, what comes before that? Well, Paul has just described the humility of Jesus. And he says, therefore, my dear friends, he's talking to believers. Continue to work out your salvation with fear and trembling. See, in our salvation, we have a responsibility, and God has a responsibility. Our responsibility is to have the proper attitude, a reverent awe of God. We have responsibility to use what God has given us and to serve him and to serve others. That's our responsibility. It's not to tell God what we should do or do any instructing of God whatsoever. We talk to him, we share with him our feelings and our thoughts and things we're going through, but our responsibility is to have the right attitude towards God. God is the master. We are the servants. Therefore, my dear friends, continue to work out your salvation with fear and trembling. It's not saying do these things to be saved. It's saying that we do these things because we are saved. For it is God who works in you to will. God's responsibility. See, God puts in us a will, a desire to seek him and to help others. For it is God who works in you to will, to act according to his good purpose. Not only does God give us a will, but he also gives us the ability to do the things that he's called us to do. God wants to be at work in you and me. Will we allow him? We have a part. Our part is the right attitude towards God. God's part is instilling us a will and then the ability to do what he's called us to do. These verses do not teach that we earn our salvation, that we work and we be good enough. Not teaching that at all. Working out, when he says, continue to work out your salvation with fear and trembling. The fear and trembling is the fear of God. Remember, it's not a cowering fear, but it's a reverent fear. It's a feeling of, wow, God is so incredibly awesome. Fear and trembling. We want to please him. You know, when you think about it, you just think about a holy God who created everything out of nothing. And you and me standing in front of him, I'm going to be trembling. Even though he is my God, I'm still going to be trembling because of the total awesomeness of him and the total unawesomeness of me. It's kind of like somebody had a bird fountain of water, and it was powered by a solar energy. And they had this thing set up where it pointed towards the sun. And as long as the sun was shining, this fountain just producing water. It's just shooting out water. It's just going great. The birds are having a great time. But one day it got really, really cloudy, and it covered the sun, and the fountain quit. The fountain only worked when the sun was out. It didn't work at night. It only worked during the daytime when the sun was out and it was powered by the sun. Well, that's a lot like you and me. Where do we get our strength and our power from? God. And when we go away from God, we lose that power and that strength. But you know what? All we got to do is come back. We come back to him, and you know what? God continues to work in us. God wants to be at work in you and me. But you know, in a sense, he needs our cooperation. So, are we cooperating with God? Have a good day.